What is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Once a Project Podcast, brought to you by your host, Brandon Lara, new co-host, and not new co-host.
You're trying to replace me?
No, and joining me is your co-host.
New co-host, I guess, guys. He's
No.
spilling the tea already without even letting me know.
There's no new co-host, guys. There won't be a new co-host. So that was, I don't know why I said new co-host, but yeah.
He's throwing hints at me, guys. He's trying to kick me out.
I'm not. Come on now. Let's be honest. If you weren't my co-host, I don't know if our show would be the size it is. Our show would be the size it is right now. I think you add a special element to it.
Oh, yeah.
Very special element.
I am the element.
Well, no, let's not get overconfident here. No, but
Hello.
welcome everyone. Hopefully everyone is doing good. Having a great week so far. It's been a good week for me. I like to think.
The week just started.
I know, but
It's Monday?
well, no, it's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday?
Yes. But the time of this recording or the time of this listening, by the time it comes out, will be Thursday. So yeah. But I think it's been good. It's been a good week so far. So, anyways, yeah. Hopefully, you guys are doing great.
My back hurts. It started hurting when I started washing the dishes. I don't think I can wash dishes anymore.
My back always hurts when I wash dishes.
No, this is the first time for me though. I think it's
random.
It's saying something.
Saying something. When I wash dishes, my back hurts.
Babe, you wash dishes once a month?
Like once a week at least. But you know what I think it is? I think it's the fact that how I'm standing like forward like this. So
Maybe.
I used to be a dishwasher. My first job was a dishwasher boy, and I hated that shit.
I can tell.
They had me lift up these.
You still hate it, huh?
Yeah, they had me lift up these damn big old like carts of
Yeah, where they put the dirty plates.
Yeah, fuck that. To lift that thing
And
up.
they're nasty.
Yeah, but I was 14 lifting those big things up. I could barely even get them up on the, because you know how the sink is elevated. It has like a little elevation up to it. That way the water doesn't come out. It stays in the sink. And so it was really, and I'm short, If I'm short right now, imagine how short I was then.
I don't want to imagine that.
I was like 5'2".
Boy.
So it was hard, but I quit. Did I tell this story? I don't know. I don't think I did, but I quit. You know how I quit? So I lasted a week and a half, guys, at my first job. I hated that shit.
You don't last at any jobs.
And then I do, but I get sick of them. I get bored. So then I go up to the owner.
A job isn't about having fun.
I mean, some people have fun at their jobs.
Yeah.
Especially like those Twitter jobs or like Google. They're all you do
those
is,
are different, okay?
just play around a lot, I feel like.
This is actual jobs where you actually have to do something.
So that when I quit, you know how at school they had like president elections and whatnot, like president of the class or whatever.
Oh yeah, you told me.
Yeah, so
you told him you were gonna run for fucking president.
I was really considering it though. I was like I didn't know what I needed to like run, I guess, but I was really considering running for president in freshman year. So I go and tell this guy, I'm like, yeah, so I'm going to be running for president of my class, and it's going to take a lot of time because of campaigns, and I have to promote and do this and do that.
You're such a liar, dude.
And I just won't have the time to come in, and, school is really important for me, so I have to make sure that I win this election. The first Mexican to win an election in high school in my family would be really nice.
You're full of BS,
so I told him these lies. And the guy's like, okay, yeah, like I understand. Yeah, stay in school.
Why are you talking like he was sad? He was not sad.
Yeah, he was a little. I was a good worker. I was a fucking great worker.
As you worked for like a week?
I've always been a great worker. Always. I always make sure to get my things done. I really do.
Yeah?
Yeah. So I've always been a great worker. And
yeah.
and when I do my
Of
things,
course you're
when
gonna
I
say
do
that.
when I do
huh?
my work, I make sure it's done right.
Huh?
Never do I like to do something that's not done right.
Really?
That goes for everything in life. Yeah. So I was a great worker. And you know the thing, the one cool thing about that damn place was that, and it's still open, so we should go eat sometime. At the time, so like at the end of my
What
shift,
job was this?
my first job ever.
Yeah, but where? Where at?
It's over by Shopko. Where Shopko used to be, it's right next to it. It's a Mexican restaurant right there.
Oh, okay, I know what
You guys should know. If you guys live here in town, you guys should know where it's at. But at the end of the night, when my shift, I would get out like at 10, not 11, something like that. And the lady there, I mean, she would be mad because she hated cooking last minute, but the boss had her cook for us last minute. So she's like, "So what do you want, Brandon?" You know, I got my burritos, my enchiladas, quesadilla, things like that. That was probably the best. But a lot of time I did.
Yeah, that's what I like working. Why I like working at restaurants too. Like
Yeah.
I don't like working at restaurants,
Mm-hmm.
but I like that you get free food.
Yeah, that was sick.
It's
So
good.
like that was probably like the one thing. But like I only had it 4 times maybe the food, and then after I noticed that the lady would hate me because of it, she would just make me this face like, "Oh, this kid again." So then I was just like, "Fuck you!" Then I'm not gonna order food. I didn't order food.
I would have ordered just because she was making that face because that's her job.
Yeah, but I felt, and then I had to clean the plates after, so I was like, hey, it's even
Oh.
worse. I have to stay even longer, and
I can
then
eat for free, but I still have to wash my own dishes.
yeah, and then the pay was shit. You know how much the pay was?
The minimum.
$7.25.
Yeah, the minimum. It's
Yeah.
still that.
I didn't even get tips though, which is crazy. They left me out of tips.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did.
Yeah, I mean, dishwashers don't get paid too much.
It was shitty.
I don't think they even
I
get
don't
paid
think they get
good
paid
now.
right now. Still,
Well, they get paid, but not well.
yeah, not that much. It sucks.
Mm-mm.
That's when I
Well, even
decided that I needed
servers and
to.
stuff.
Yeah, servers are in shit, but if
If you get good tips, that's
yeah.
the good thing.
it depends on restaurant really.
Yeah.
How many people go?
Shit, like imagine if you were working at fucking Burger King. You wouldn't get
hell no.
shit.
But if you're working at Longhorn or something like that,
Oh,
or
yeah.
Texas Steakhouse,
Especially
or
on the
whatever.
weekends.
Yeah.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, Texas Roadhouse, Longhorn, Outback,
You know
those
which one
places
got
there.
really good tips?
Huh?
Denny's.
Denny's,
Even though
Yeah.
it's shitty.
or like in the mornings, like Perkins.
Ooh, you know what I just remembered?
Huh?
That one time we went to Denny's just for my shake.
Took forever, but it was great. What a
I'm
good
about
shake.
to order one right now.
So yeah, but yeah, that was my first job, and then that's what I decided in my head. I was like, yeah, working like this is not it. You know, that was like the little seed I feel like that came into my head of like you need to find something better for yourself. You know,
As you're 14.
as I'm 14, yeah, yeah, it sucked ass, hated it. So then after that, I worked at another restaurant, but that one was a little bit better. It wasn't too bad. Just the hours sucked, and then I quit
Yeah.
that place too. But yeah, what was your first
How
job?
many places have you quit?
How many jobs have I had? How about that?
Yeah. Well, that
Um,
you've quit too because
I quit all my jobs. I've never been fired. Never. All right. I've always quit my jobs, and usually I know the time period of my time that I last in jobs.
6 months.
6 months. That's like the longest I've lasted in a
Yeah,
job.
that's what I've noticed.
And then I quit, find another job, and then 6 months. And I mean, it's just
Yeah.
But I had the restaurant. I had my dad. I had Alberto's. I had concrete, sheetrock, tape. I guess that's the same thing, but I was working for this guy picking up cars and like from Wyoming or Jackson and just bringing them over here. All I did was sit in a car really, but the whole time he would fucking be like, "You fucking stupid kid, you dumbass." I hated fuck that dude. And then I had painting, family member, siding, and then painting again. 10 jobs.
In your short 21 years of life.
10 jobs at 21. And then last summer I had no, it was maybe 2 years ago now. I went through 6 jobs in a period of like 6 months. Or 8 months actually. 6 jobs in a period of 8 months. Yeah, I was just running through jobs.
Why?
Because I hated it. I hated every job that I would get. Like the pay would sound
are
nice.
you just fucking applying anywhere? Are you one of those kids that just applies anywhere?
No.
And sees where his luck is at?
No, I wasn't applying just anywhere. I was having jobs offered to me through friends. So then I would try them out and I'm like, yeah, this is not for me. For example, I was working in concrete, right? I worked in concrete for like 2 weeks and then I quit. But it was like waking up at 4 a.m. to be at the shop by 5 so that by 6 we left town, be in Jackson by 7 or 8, work from 8 till fucking 4 or 3, and then be back. I'd be home at 6, but dead, just completely dead. I hated that shit. And then they would make me carry these long-ass rods, like long, like I'm talking like 20 feet long. Like it's long. Maybe not that long. I don't know my feet like that, but they were bigger than me, and I could barely even carry them.
A lot of things are bigger than you, babe.
All right, chill out. Chill out. No, but they were bigger than me, like, and heavy as shit, too. And I was like, what the fuck? And I have a bad back, so I was like, I don't want to risk it. Because it would make me lift these panels that are like 8 feet long or whatever the fuck, and carry them, and they're just so heavy.
Okay, babe, this is not for you to complain.
I'm not complaining.
This podcast is not going to be called complaining.
No, I'm not complaining. It's just a learning experience, you know. So, dude, shout out to those people that work in concrete. Those fuckers, they're something else. Like they do some hard stuff. So shout out to them. My boy's one of my boys. He's a concrete contractor, whatever the hell. So shout out to you, dude. But yeah, I was gonna talk to you about how you feel about MLMs. You know what those are?
The business.
Yeah.
Dealing.
Yeah, I want to pick your brain at it this time and see what you think and your thoughts about it and just your overall experience with MLMs.
I'm gonna go based off your experience because I had to live through that.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
So guys,
story time.
he was in a business
Yes.
when we started dating. Well, we were talking and he was already in it and blah blah.
I was in the business 2 years before I met her.
Yeah.
So I was 2 years in.
So this kid, I was
Or
like,
3.
there was something about him. I was like, he sounded very smart.
Well, hold on a minute.
He was very smart.
Thank you. I am very smart.
Hey, let me talk.
Okay. Oh, shit.
I was like, I don't know if this is the guy for me. Like, he makes me feel kind of dumb. Because of the way he would speak, you know? Like, I would talk to guys, when I would talk to guys, they were stupid.
Dumbasses.
Like, they wouldn't talk the way he was talking. Like, he was talking 6th grade level in 2nd grade.
Yeah, so if I was talking like if I was a freshman in high school and she was a 6th grader.
Okay, not that far. You fucking dick. You know what, guys? I take all that shit back, okay?
No, I'm just playing.
So I was like,
Where does he come from? Why is he so smart?
Yeah, like, I really liked it. I was like, it's really different. A different type of guy, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it was really attractive.
Still is, but yeah.
Are you going to keep interrupting me?
No.
Still is. So then later on, when we start dating, blah, 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 I finally get to go to one of the meetings.
Yes.
And so there I am, little me.
So
that didn't know shit, really.
So
Well, he tried to like.
Yeah, let me explain kind of how the first time you went kind of came up. I basically told her, listen, and I was like really deep in this. I was drinking that Kool-Aid like it was water. So I was deep in those waters of that business. So basically,
I think you can drink Kool-Aid better than water.
probably
Easier.
So I was like, so if you want to be a part of my life,
If you want me,
if you want to
guys, he threatened me. He literally put me. He pushed me to the wall basically and told me, if you want me, you're gonna be here at 7 p.m. tomorrow. No excuses. Excuses are for losers.
I did not say that. I didn't say excuses are for losers, although some of them are losers. But I just said, listen, if you want to, because there's some backstory to why you couldn't go, and that we don't have to get into that.
Yeah, we're not getting into that.
But
but he was a dick about it because he knew that I couldn't
her
go.
circumstances weren't as cooperative as I would have liked them to be.
Like, it's not that I didn't want to go, but there was certain things that.
Yeah,
there was reasons why I couldn't.
Yeah,
Not
and
my reasons,
and they were out of our control. But in my head, I was like,
but he didn't fucking care. He just
no. I did care, but in my head, I was like, if this girl really likes me, she's gonna push it to a little bit. She's gonna push the envelope a little bit.
And then, guys,
so
I got in trouble because I went, and I almost got home till like what 10.
So I was like, if you want to be a part of my life, you have to go to this meeting. And this meeting was from 7:30, from 7 to 10. It was 3 hours. It was an hour.
You guys believe that?
It was an hour of teaching and 2 hours of like this seminar. So she went. And I was like, okay.
I went.
She didn't have a dress.
I used to fucking. It was a pencil skirt.
It was a pencil skirt.
But since it was so long and big for me, I used it as a dress.
She used it as a dress. That's how I knew she was a real one. And if it really, she looked amazing.
I know.
If I could have taken you home.
You wouldn't have.
Or the
you
hotel.
Didn't even want it.
It was great. That dress looked great. That Prince
You didn't take me nowhere.
I didn't take her anywhere. She went home after,
Yeah.
but I stayed a little bit longer. But so then continue. You forgot where you were at.
So then I go and blah blah blah, and then he was like, "Okay, cool, blah blah blah."
Yeah.
And that was kind of it.
Yes.
And then he wanted me to start going to more when he already knew the circumstances and he kept fucking poking.
Yes.
You know? So it started getting a bit harder for me to attend these meetings. But I knew, well, should we go forward to when we got married?
Yeah, so there was a period I'll just like close up the gap a little bit. So there's a period of time.
Yeah, so then we got married and
we didn't get married for those reasons, by the way, okay? It wasn't just for the reasons of her attending the meetings. We got married.
Then we got married.
Let
me talk.
Okay.
You sip it, lock it, put it in your pocket.
All right.
Okay?
Okay.
So we get married and then I decide to be part of the business with him. Well, we both decided it.
Yes.
Oh my god, dude. Shush it.
I didn't even say anything.
You was about to the fucking camera got you, dude.
Oh, shit.
So we both decided for me to be part of the business. So
Yeah.
we got all of that arranged. But I was never fully in it, I feel like. Even though I tried. Like, I really tried. Because I saw how much he wanted that. So I was like, okay. Like, it's not going to do anything if I try a little bit more.
Correct.
A little bit harder. So I was doing that, but I just felt like it wasn't for me.
Yes.
And then things didn't seem right for me.
In what context?
Like, just everything. Like, I would listen to what they would be saying.
Mm-hmm.
And it just didn't sit right with me.
Like what? Can you remember something?
Well, it was kind of what you started noticing, that it was more so for the money.
Oh yeah.
It was for them,
Yeah.
for their, how can we say it? How can we put
Their
it?
benefit.
Yeah, their benefit. Like, they didn't really care about us.
Yeah.
And we were really struggling at this point.
With money.
Like, there was times where we couldn't fully pay rent, or we didn't have money for groceries or this or that, you know?
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of money being invested into this business, and we weren't getting money back.
Correct.
Any
money back.
Well, we were getting like freaking $10.
Yeah.
I think the most we got was like 100 something.
Yeah.
But that was after us putting so much, our whole checks.
Yeah.
So we were also having all these trips, and it was fun, but like I said, we were still putting even more money because of those trips and the tickets and just everything. So it got really stressful for me till I just couldn't. Like, I just fucking blew up.
Yeah.
I was like, Brandon, like, I can't do this. I don't know if you see it, but you only see the business.
Yes.
You're not seeing that we're struggling. You're not seeing all of this. Because he was fucking brainwashed.
Yeah. I was drinking that Kool-Aid.
He was drinking that Kool-Aid, that really yummy red one. Yep. So I was just like, I'm done. Like, I told him I'm done. And I think you were kind of upset, weren't you?
No and yes.
But I never told you, like, okay. Like, I was just like, okay, I'm done, but you keep doing this if you want. I just don't want to keep doing it because I'm not fully in it.
Yeah.
And I don't agree with a lot of things.
Yeah, I think that's what, if I was to say, if I was upset, it would have been because of that. Not necessarily because you didn't want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Or that you were right, or no, like it wasn't that. It was more so because in my head I was like, but you haven't given it 100%. So what if you did give it 100%? What if it did work out once you gave it 100%?
Yeah, that was all I was hearing from him, and I was just like, okay, but I already tried, and it just doesn't feel like it's the thing for me.
Yeah, and
like, for me, if you know me, you know that I won't do something if I don't fully want to be in it, if I don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
And honestly, I wasn't enjoying it at all.
Yeah, and then that's when I started questioning more of it. Once we came back from the second trip.
Yeah, and you were the one who kind of just came up to me one day, and you were like, okay, I think I want to quit the business. And I didn't tell you, oh my God, baby, yes, good job that you finally want to quit the business. Like, I was like, are you sure? Because the business for him was such a big thing, and I knew it was.
Yeah, I mean, guys, I grew up. That was my baby.
Yeah, that was his baby. So I was just a little bit confused. I was like, are you sure?
Yeah, it was hard. It was hard, but at the same time, like it was, like, I think that once you know something, you feel it inside, and sometimes you want to avoid that, and sometimes you want to ignore that.
Yeah.
But when you know, you know. You know that saying that kids now say, that we say, when you know, you know.
Yeah.
But it's kind of true. Like, it got to the point where we were financially bad. Like, it was bad.
Like, even our relationship was just going to shit, honestly, because we just didn't know how to balance anything.
And the thing was that these businesses, guys, a lot of the times what they do is they'll how can I explain this? They will install this type of ideology into your head. This type of ideology of, like, these are your values, or these are my values, and so if you want to be successful, you must kind of have the same values.
Yeah.
Now, they're not disrespectful towards, like, race or sexual orientation or who you are. They don't care about that. It's more so like, For example, one of the lines that they would use a lot is like, um, what comes first in my life is God, my wife, my
Family.
family, my wife, and then my kids,
Yeah.
right? So when you're attending these seminars, you start to like kind of get the sense of these values, and you're like, well, that person's successful, so I must have the same values, the same ideology as them. So I'm going to change what I think and maybe what I'm seeing that I don't agree with to what that person is saying, because they're successful and I'm not yet, you know? And that's where it gets tricky, because it's like, well, how do you measure success?
Yeah.
Because that person can have money, can have his wife, his that, but that person may not have a life. When you and when it's you okay, you have some money. Let's say you're working, you're single, whatever, or you're dating, as me and her were at the time, and then we got married. So we had, you know, I had money when I was single, and I had a life, but I wasn't successful to where he was, right? The person.
Yeah.
So that's where my ideology, my thought process changed. And I was like, oh, well, I must have the same type of values as that person.
Yeah, and for me, that there was never a switch with that.
Yeah, so that's kind of how I grew up. And remember, I was
Because
16.
remember, when we first started dating, you were like, okay, what are your values? Like, you started questioning me with all these things that
Yeah, like
nobody
I was,
had ever questioned that about
and I
me.
think
So
those
I
are good
was just like,
questions.
no, they are, but
Yeah, it's different. It's a different type of ball game when a guy or a girl, it could be either or, comes to you and starts and they're interested in you, and you can tell that they're interested in you, because I think you could tell that I was interested in you, right?
yeah.
So, but then when they start asking, okay, so what are your values? And you've never been asked that, you're like, what? Like,
Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
what do you mean values?
Yeah.
So then they explain to you, well, this is what my values are, and this is what I care about.
Mm-hmm.
And so then they ask you, so what do you want to do what do you want to be? How do you want to live when you grow up? Instead of what do you want to do, or what are you doing this weekend?
Yeah.
It's more so like, what are you doing right now? So that you can grow your life in the next 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that. So
You know what I also didn't like? It was the fact that they all said the same thing, maybe just different wording. I
yeah,
fucking hated that shit.
that's what I realized after.
And like all the meetings were literally the same, just worded a bit different.
Yeah,
Or sometimes they just added a tiny little bit of something.
yeah.
But it got to a point where it was just so repetitive all the time.
And that's what I'm saying. Like,
And I was like, Brandon, like, he doesn't, like, we already went to a meeting, which was basically the same thing they said today.
yeah.
And
So
and when you would tell me, okay, well, there's a meeting tomorrow and one Friday,
yeah,
I'd be like, fucking shit, like, it's the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
Like, at first, I enjoyed it. Like, the people were nice, it was nice.
yeah,
But it got to a point where it was just like, it was so many meetings, it was just so repetitive all the time. Like, it was always the same
Yeah.
thing. Like, you didn't really learn anything new.
yeah. We had 3 meetings a month.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes 4, depending. Plus the individual meetings you had with prospects, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was a lot. Like you had we had no life.
Like, we had to go out and build every day.
Yeah.
And sometimes I wouldn't. Because
yeah,
I was just like, it's just too much. And we were always going to the same place. And I was like, I just feel like these people fucking know me because I'm here every day.
yeah,
And at the same time, every day.
yeah,
Like, I hated going to the mall. I hated everything. After we were done with it, I didn't even want to go to the mall.
yeah. No, and I didn't either.
And we didn't for a
a good
while,
time.
yeah.
So what did you notice about the people? Because I have an interesting I noticed something very interesting after I quit the business, after I was like, I'm done. But you were kind of like, you saw things before I did. So what did you notice with the people that we met, that we were around with?
Okay, so we would meet these people, right?
Yeah.
Because usually in meetings, there was always somebody new or this or that. Or just people that we weren't really close to, we didn't know like that.
Yeah.
But they would come up to us and, oh my God, I love you. And oh my God, this and blah, blah. Like they knew us.
Yeah.
And it sounded so fake. Like, I don't think I ever said I love you to any of them because I was like, I don't even know you like that. Like,
Yeah.
you don't even know me like that. It just, to me, it was just, it didn't seem genuine. Is that how you
Yeah.
say it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird, you know, how I think about it, because
Yeah.
like I said I love you to the people that I've known for a long time.
Yeah, and that's cool. Yeah, there was a couple people that we knew kind of
For a
a
while.
little bit more,
Yeah.
but they still didn't really know us like that. They just
Yeah.
knew us from the business.
We never hung out and nothing like that.
Nothing.
So that was like one of the things I was like, yeah, why is this person saying that they love me, but they don't really even know me like that? That's the laundry room, I think.
Yeah.
If you guys hear that noise in the background, it's the laundry.
It's really loud.
Yeah.
It was really full, so.
Sorry about that, guys. We'll make sure not to have that turned on next time. But yeah, that was weird. And then the other weird thing, now that I think about it, was that like in meetings and in certain conventions, seminars, whatever you want to call them, the guys, I don't know what the girls kind of did, because I never was like, because usually the way it works is like the girls like circle up with the girls, right? And they go find like the biggest leader in the room, essentially, right? The biggest pin level, the biggest money earner, in a sense, the biggest business owner. They go find that person. And so it's the same for guys and girls. Guys will usually go find that guy, and then the girls will go find that girl, right?
Yeah.
But in like in those settings, like a lot of the guys would be like, "Oh, I love your tie, man. Oh, thanks. Oh, I love your suit."
Yeah,
Like
it was
just
like that for girls too, and I hated it. Like, it was so annoying, although I knew they were being nice.
yeah, like oh, you
But I
look
was
so
like,
great.
dude, like, it just sounded so fake to me.
Yeah, and the thing is that when you're in the process of like learning the business and whatnot, you get taught that positive attitude is kind of the way you want to have it.
It was too
So,
positive.
in when we would have these meetings, not weekly, monthly, and it would just be like the business that you were a part of, not because it's huge. I mean, what we're talking about, that business is massive.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just something small that's here where we're at. No, it's all over the world. But we would meet up with quote unquote our mentors every month, and the businesses that they were associated with, involving us too, right? And they would talk about like, oh yeah, when we go to these bigger seminars, these bigger conventions, you want to make sure you have positive attitudes and positive vibes and be nice and do this, you know, because you want to set the culture to be positive all around. And like, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes that helped, especially if I was having a rough day or rough week, you know, being around positive people helped. But then it got to the point where, yeah, it was just like, I love your tie, man. I love your suit. Oh, great hair. Oh man, I want to be like you one day. It's like,
And they were always wearing the same suit, the same everything.
Yeah.
Like, you never really saw anyone wear something different.
Yeah.
They only had like 2 different outfits, and that was about it.
Yeah. I mean, and the guys would, you know, gray suit or black suit,
And
maybe
guys were
blue
really
suit.
nice too. They were like, "Oh my God, you look gorgeous, and you look
Yeah.
so pretty. And oh my God, this and that. You and Brandon are such a cute couple, the best couple." And
You guys are gonna be so big one day.
yeah.
Things like that within the business, you know, obviously. But like, it was crazy because I didn't see that. And then once I decided to quit, my friend who it's funny because the friend who got me involved in the business quit before me, right? Out of the blue, randomly.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it. That shit hit me like a fucking truck. And it was hard on me because I was 16. I was like, damn, my mentor, my friend at the time, quit on me. And I thought that was such a bad thing, you know, because you don't quit. If you quit, you're a failure,
Yeah.
right? That's kind of like the mindset that they install in you as you enter these meetings and go every couple, you know, weeks.
Yeah.
So it's like the last thing you want to do is quit. That's not me quitting on you. You're quitting on me. That's kind of what they would say, right? So when he quit, I was like, damn, he quit on me. Like, what the fuck? So then I got a little bit of like anger in me. You know, I was like, I'm going to prove him wrong. Like, I'm going to make sure this thing works so that he
But you
knows.
didn't even know the reasons why
Exactly.
he quit.
And so then fast forward once I quit and he tells me, dude, this is why I quit. This is why. This is why. This is why. I was like, whoa.
It started to make sense.
I was like, that's so true.
Because the people change once you decided to quit.
Massive. 360 change. Like 360 change.
Like, whoa.
And it's hurtful, you know, because for me, and this is why maybe you were like, are you sure? Because for me, it was hurtful, you know, like it took a toll, you know, a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I grew up with these guys. I mean, they were like a second family to me. I didn't have a role model when I was growing up. So my mentor was my role model, you know, my male role model. I didn't know what a marriage looked like because my parents are divorced, but my mentors had a marriage that I thought at the time, maybe hopefully they do, but I don't know that. But I thought they had a great marriage. You know, I don't know if their marriage is great or not, but that's what I thought. So I did.
I mean, it's like you can fake it.
Yeah. So that's kind of.
Sometimes we would go to those meetings and we were arguing, but nobody noticed.
Exactly. So that was weird. And then I heard something, a very famous, like big financial guy talk about. They asked him, so what do you think about this company, blah, blah. And he said, what I've noticed is that the people who earn the most money in those type of businesses, MLMs, multi-level marketings, are the people who are really good at convincing people to have a dream, and they're really good at selling dreams.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it was, you know? So, and they would say, oh, if your volume was at a certain level, you need to up that volume per month, which means you have to invest more money. And then you would attract more people and you would grow. But it's like, I'm already spending this amount of money and I'm not growing.
I'm already putting in as much as I can.
Yeah. Like, and they didn't know, guys, we would have sometimes $50 left out of both our paychecks.
It got to a point where I didn't even have gas money.
Yeah. Like, what the fuck? And so,
like, I would put like the $10 I had in my freaking wallet.
Yeah.
And see how much that gas would last me.
But I didn't see that. That was the craziest part, is that when you're fucking drinking that Kool-Aid, like, you don't see those things, and you have to be careful with that, guys. You have to be careful with that.
Yeah, and I was so confused because I was like, how the fuck does Brandon not see this? Like, at this point, I was angry at him.
Yeah.
Like, I was just so fucking angry because first of all, we had barely gotten married.
Right.
And I was like, how the fuck is he not seeing this? Like, we were already arguing so much, and it wasn't even our problems. It was the business.
Yeah.
And every single talk we would have, it was about the business. Like, I would bring something up. He's like, oh, yeah, but the business. Or I would be like, hey, I want to go to my parents. He's like, oh, yeah, but I have to go do this because of the business.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, my God.
I'm going to freak out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you have to be careful with those type of things because you get this cult mindset, essentially. And, dude, it's crazy, babe. Dude, whatever. But, like, I had this guy text me who was, like, quote unquote, my upline, right? My mentors, whatever the fuck. And I know why he reached out. So I know he reached out to see if I was struggling in their, quote unquote, in their world. They think that if you're not in the business, you're struggling, you know, you're a failure. So
Yeah.
I knew he reached out because he wanted to see if I was struggling. And he was basically saying, yeah, blah, blah. And what pisses me off the most is like they shove it in your face that what you did is wrong. When in reality, I believe that leaving the business was one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Yeah, I mean, even your friend can probably say that.
Oh, yeah. And the reason why I believe that is because if I didn't leave the business, then this podcast wouldn't be a reality. It wouldn't be happening. You know, it'd be still in my head.
Yeah.
So then a short conversation with the guy. And then my mentor, who I actually mentored with, he texted me yesterday. And he's, how are you doing? Good. And what, this and that. So I told my friend about it, the one who quit. And he's like, dude, should I just read the messages?
Nah.
No, my
Just
mentor.
do a little.
No, not my mentor's messages, my friend's messages.
If you want.
I'm going to read the messages just because I think they're a little bit more juicier than how I can explain it. But he's like, so I sent him a screenshot, right? And he's like, he's probably just seeing if he can snag you back. Remember, he wants volume. We're not gonna say the actual name because I don't want to get sued.
Yeah.
The actual, what the fuck are they called? Whatever, the actual names. And he said, you're not someone. He's like, you're not someone he has to take through the process again, and he'll feel like it'll be easier to work with you, quote unquote. But in reality, it's just going to mess with you and what you're trying to do. And then he's like, yeah, it's pretty typical. They set a time period to go past. And then when 4 to 6 months pass by, they reach out to see where you're at. And all they're trying to do is gauge whether or not you're unhappy and then try and fill that void. In my opinion, fake friendships and other BS. So then I was like, that's fucking true.
Like, do you think they fucking put it on their calendar?
Yes.
Text Brandon.
100%. No.
6 months in January 5th. We're gonna text Brandon and see how he's doing.
Well, remember towards the end before I quit, we would have these sheets, and you would call these people, and then you would write, okay, called this person this date. 6 months pass by, and then you call the person again. And that's not just in this MLM, guys. I want to make that very clear. It's in other MLMs too. Remember that guy that called me about the meat factory and whatever the fuck?
Yeah.
Every 6 months, that guy calls me, without a doubt, without a miss, to offer me a new business, this and that. And I'm so, now that I'm a little bit more clear in my head, I can see how people can get into that quote mindset of being involved in a business where they feel like they're part of something bigger, where they feel invited, which is great, they feel wanted, which is amazing, but that can fuck a lot with the person's mind and mindset, and sometimes those things drive people crazy. Sometimes those ideologies, that cold mindset drives people to do some things that you would never expect someone to do.
Yeah.
Now in this business, everyone seems fine.
Do you think if I wouldn't have told you, hey, I quit,
I would have still been there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I was so involved into it. I believed it so much.
Yeah.
I believed the results so much. And the one thing that I would always say in my head, which would fuck with me so much personally, because I would bring shame into my life and I would bring guilt onto myself, was I haven't given it 100% yet. If I can give it 100% a whole year.
That's everything he ever said, guys.
Yeah.
He missed the day of going out and building or whatever, and oh my God, the world was ending.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, it fucked with me so bad because...
And that fucked with me so bad because I was like, dude, like there's so much more outside of this.
So she went from meeting this guy who spoke really well, who was very articulate,
Very
who was
confident.
very confident, very great, to then when she married me, not to speak down myself, but she married someone who was struggling with finding out if that's what they really wanted to do or not.
Their purpose.
Because I believed that it was just going to work out, and it doesn't work like that. You have to put work into it. But when I did, and the one day I missed, start from square one, excuse me. So it really fucked with me a lot,
Yeah, it was hard.
So what's our time?
44.
So yeah, that's kind of what the business was for her as a married wife to me. What do you think is the difference now with this podcast to the business? Back in the business.
I can see that you enjoy it.
Yeah, I do.
And I just see you using your brain. You know, like it's just not stuck in one thing.
Right.
And you're not stuck on just the podcast. You have other great ideas that you want to do in the future or whatnot.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's really cool to see that. Like you're just not stuck in one place. Like you keep growing.
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, guys, I just want to encourage
And
that.
yeah, I mean, you can be hard on yourself if you don't get the video edited or this or that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a lot more different.
Yeah, it is a lot more different. Yeah, because I gave myself a break, guys. So when I quit the business, it was in September, and I didn't start the podcast till January. But I gave myself that break to kind of clear my brain up a little bit more, because being in a MLM it fucks with your brain a lot. It messes a lot with your brain and the way you think and the way you react to certain things, the way you process certain things. So my encouragement to you guys is that if you have a friend who's involved in an MLM, go take a look at it. Don't be afraid of taking a look at it, because maybe you find your purpose there. So you never want to shame something like that, because if you're struggling finding your purpose and a friend comes along and says, "Hey, I might have something for you," and you find your purpose there, great. That's amazing, you know?
Yeah.
Just for me and Jackie, we didn't find the purpose there. And it took me a lot longer than I would have wanted to realize that.
And then after, the beautiful thing was that after he quit the business, okay, he was like, okay, I'm just going to take a break and just see what I want to do.
Yeah.
And then all these ideas started popping up.
Flowing like a fucking rope.
He was like, I want to do this and I want to do this and I want to do that.
Yeah.
It was like he was finally free.
Yeah.
And he could just live his life.
Yes. And
like,
I have.
Like he was just a little kid. It's like putting a little kid inside a room with just
Toys.
filled with toys.
Yeah.
And that was just like, oh my God, this is the husband I wanted this whole time. Like, yeah, you were sexy and attractive, all smart and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying you're not smart or anything.
Because I still am.
Yeah. But it was just beautiful to see that other side of you.
Yeah. And that's a side that in an MLM, guys, that's where the dangerous parts come in, right? That's where the danger comes in, is that you will suppress that side because of the ideology that they will kind of install in you. Mm-hmm. And the way they install that ideology is through the meetings and how repetitive some of their context, some of their content is. Like Jackie said, a lot of the times it was a lot of the same words, just put differently, you know? It's like a hangman. You just put the words put the letters differently, you get a new word, and that's kind of how it was, you know? So, yeah, my encouragement is go check out an MLM. It can be anyone. I won't say any names for the ones that I was a part of, because why? I don't need to. And legally, I don't want to get sued. And so go check them out, though. And maybe you learn something out of that. The seminars, you'll learn a lot. I learned a lot of my relationship values, a lot of my marriage values because of those seminars. So in a way, I am grateful for that experience. Like I said in a previous podcast, I won't regret that. Mm-hmm. But be careful with the Kool-Aid. You drink too much of it, and you'll get put in a spiral. How I was, of just thinking about one certain thing and not realizing that you have a life outside of that. Mm-hmm. That was one of the beautiful things my friend told me. And we'll close with this. He said, Brandon, they will try to pin on you that you're a failure. They will tell you that because you quit, you're now a failure in life.
And they did.
And he said, but you need to realize, Brandon, you're how old? 20. He's like, you're 20 years old. You learned so much from them that now you can use that knowledge and apply it to something that you're actually passionate about and that you actually want to do and that you actually love. He said, now you can go do that. And He said, just because you quit a business doesn't mean you fail. He said, maybe the next business that will provide you wealth is after this one.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, whoa. I didn't think about that when I was in the business. So we'll close with that, guys. Sounds good? Cool. I don't know why that talk came about, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it, you know? I don't know if it was a serious talk. Who knows? But hopefully you guys enjoyed it.
If it's not for you, it's not for you.
Yeah, if it's not for you, it's not for you. We'll keep putting out content every week because I actually love doing this podcast. It's actually really fun. Mm-hmm. I enjoy it a lot. So anyways, yeah. Love you guys. Thank you guys for the support. Go check us out at Instagram. Yeah, our pages. At Brandon A. Lara. I need food.
Dude, me too. I'm starving.
At Brandon A. Lara is my personal account. The OAP official is a podcast account, and then Jackie's is Jackie, Jackie. So JAAACIKCKIE _ Okay, so basically...
It's easier if you say J with 3 A's, CKIE _.
How about we change it?
How about we don't and you just learn how to say it?
So anyways, yeah, go check us out there. We're on YouTube too. Once a Project Podcast, TikTok, Once a Project. We might have a Facebook coming soon.
Who knows?
Yeah, I'm thinking about a Facebook, so we'll see about Facebook. But go check us out there, guys. Make sure you share this podcast. That would help a ton. And make sure you follow the podcast because that helps a ton. I see that 46% of you don't follow the podcast, which is not bad. That means we have more than half of you listening, following the podcast. But the other half, guys, come on.
I know you just forgot to follow it.
Listen.
It's okay.
We all forget things. But come on. Put on your reminders. Download this habit app that I have and make it a habit to follow the podcast. It's easy. It doesn't cost you anything. So go subscribe too. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe. Now, once a Patreon comes out, which I don't know if it will, but if it does, then I'll charge you. But right now it's free. So why not take advantage of it? Anyways, yeah, stay tuned for our podcast. Love you all. Have a blessful week.
See you on the next one.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Oof. Knocked it out.
Cheer.